Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really unpack some profound ideas and give you that shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. And today, we are plunging into, well, it's one of the most fundamental truths, the one that actually lit the way for the Buddha's awakening.
That's right. It's the law of cause and effect, really, the engine driving that whole cycle of, dissatisfaction and continuity.
Samsara.
We're talking about the 12 links of dependent origination, sometimes called the chain of causation.
And this isn't just some list to memorize, is it? We're talking about something dynamic, a living, breathing mechanism, really.
Exactly.
It explains why you suffer, and crucially, how that suffering can actually stop. So when you look at these links, what's the key thing listeners should grasp first?
I think. Well, think of it as the ultimate diagnostic tool, for the human condition.
Okay, a diagnostic tool.
Yeah, like a super detailed map. It shows every single step, every connection in the process that kind of keeps us tied to dissatisfaction.
So it's not just what happens.
No, it's the how. Link by link, moment to moment, it shows you where you are in that cycle, and maybe most importantly, where you can actually step in and change things.
Right, where the intervention point is.
Precisely. But before we dive into the 12 links themselves, it's really, really important to get the core principle first. Dependent origination, or Paṭiccasamuppāda. It sounds, well, almost deceptively simple when you state it. When this is, that is. From the arising of this, that arises.
Right.
When this is not, that is not. From the cessation of this, that ceases.
I always find that fascinating. It sounds so simple. This arises, that arises. But the implications are huge, aren't they?
Yeah.
How does that kind of universal law apply to something as messy and complex as human suffering? Is it deterministic? Like, are we just locked in?
That's a great question. It's not deterministic like fate, not preordained. It's more a law of contingency.
Contingency.
Yeah, meaning one thing only arises because the conditions for it are there. Simple as that. So the 12 links, they're just a specific application of that principle, step by step, showing how dukkha, suffering, unsatisfactoriness actually comes about for us.
For each of us.
Exactly. And the power, the agency, comes from understanding those conditions. That's where the freedom lies.
Okay, so let's trace those conditions. Where does the chain actually begin?
It starts right at the root, you could say, a fundamental lack of clear seeing.
Right.
This is the first link, ignorance, avijja.
Ignorance.
But it's more than just, not knowing stuff. It's a really deep misunderstanding, a kind of blindness to how reality actually works, especially concerning the Four Noble Truths.
So it's not just missing information. It's more like an active misperception. How does that subtle ignorance show up day to day, beyond the big philosophical ideas?
Oh, absolutely. Think about mistaking something fleeting, something impermanent, for something solid and lasting.
Right, like holding on to things.
Exactly. Or thinking something ultimately unsatisfying will bring lasting happiness. Or, and this is a big one, seeing a fixed self where there isn't one. It's that subtle, pervasive feeling that I am this fixed, separate entity, or that happiness is found out there by getting things. And from that deep-seated ignorance, well, that gives rise to the second link.
Which is?
Volitional formations. Sahara.
Okay, Sakura. So ignorance is the seed, and this is like the first sprout. Our actions.
Precisely. Our karmic formations. Everything we think, say, and do, but driven by a mind that's, well, clouded by that initial ignorance.
So our basic operating system is running on a faulty premise from the get-go.
You could say that, yeah. And these formations, Isakura, they then condition the third link, consciousness. Jnana.
Consciousness.
Now, this isn't just like bare awareness. It's the specific consciousness that pops up when a sense object hits a sense organ. But it's already shaped, already colored by those karmic formations from link 2.
Okay, so it's not pure awareness.
Not in this context, no. It's conditioned. And it's fascinating is how this conditioned consciousness then influences link number 4, mind and matter.
Namarupa.
Mind and matter. Namarupa. That sounds big. Like the start of a new being. Is it just about literal rebirth, or is it happening right now, too?
Both. That's crucial. Yes, it refers to the whole psychophysical package, the mind-body organism of a new being.
Okay.
But it also refers to the momentary arising of our form, our body, and our mental phenomena, thoughts, feelings that make up our experience in this very moment.
Got it. So it's macro and micro.
Exactly. And from that, mind and matter, naturally comes the fifth link, the 6 sense bases. Sayatana.
The senses?
Yep. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body. And importantly, the mind itself is considered a sense base here.
The mind as a sense organ. Interesting. So these are the channels, the doorways to the world.
That's right. And these senses then inevitably come into contact, phassa, the sixth link, with their objects. Sight with forms, sound with sounds, thoughts with ideas. Okay, contact. Now, you mentioned this as a kind of pivot point, even before we get to feeling. What makes contact so critical?
Because this is where the inside world and the outside world actually meet. It's the direct hit, a sense object impacting a sense base.
The point of impact.
Exactly. And it's critical because it's the non-negotiable condition for the next link, feeling, to arise. No contact, no feeling. Simple as that.
Oh.
So this is where the chain really starts to lean directly towards suffering, because feeling is the immediate precursor. It's the gateway.
Got it. So contact happens and then...
Then arises the seventh link, feeling, vedana.
Vedana.
This is just the raw experience, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, that immediate basic sensation. It's not the story about it yet, not the judgment, just ouch or ah or meh.
Just the raw data feed.
Pretty much. But then, this feeling conditions what many see as the absolute crucial link. Number 8, craving.
Tacha. Craving. You hear this one talked about a lot. Why is this link often seen as the key intervention point? Maybe even more than tackling ignorance directly.
Well, tanta is that deep, restless urge, the thirst, the grasping. It's crucial because while ignorance is way down at the root, craving is the engine of suffering that we can feel most directly. We can identify it in our immediate experience much more easily than that deep, subtle ignorance.
Right, you feel the wanting.
Exactly. It's where the raw feeling gets filtered through all our habits and desires. It really fuels the cycle. We might not be able to just switch off ignorance instantly, but we can learn to see craving when it arises and respond differently. We can work with it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We can all recognize that pull, that I want more or I want this to stop. Okay, so craving arises. If we don't catch it, what happens next?
If it's unchecked, it naturally deepens into the 9th link, clinging, upadana.
Clinging, upadana. What's the difference between craving and clinging? Is clinging just stronger craving?
It's stronger, yeah, but also stickier, more persistent. It's a profound attachment, a real identification with the thing we desire or want to avoid. Craving is the wanting, clinging is the holding on tight, the making it mine, the refusal to let go.
Okay, so it's really embedding itself.
Definitely. And this powerful clinging then conditions the 10th link, becoming, coming.
Bhava.
And this isn't passive, it's an active impulse, the drive to create a new existence, to perpetuate the conditions for future experience based on that clinging. It's the momentum.
So it's like the engine revving up for the next cycle, solidifying that sense of me and mine driving forward.
Exactly. It's the powerful forward momentum. And this becoming leads directly, inevitably, to the 11th link, birth.
Jati.
Birth. Jati, the literal start of a new life.
Yes, the arising of a new life within Samsara. Fully equipped again with mind and matter, sense bases, ready for the cycle to repeat.
And inevitably, tragically perhaps, as a direct result of being born.
We arrive at the 12th and final link, aging and death, Jaramarana.
And bundled with that comes all the associated sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair. The whole spectrum of dukkha, the cycle completes, leading right back to ignorance about the whole process, unless something changes.
Wow. Quite a chain reaction when you lay it out like that. Powerful, stark even.
It is. But the real genius of the Buddha's insight wasn't just seeing how this whole mechanism arises,
Right.
but seeing just as clearly how it can stop, how it can cease, which naturally leads to the question, if it's built link by link, can it be unlinked? Can we dismantle it?
And the answer is yes, right?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing depends on the previous link.
Absolutely. That's the hope. That's the path. If ignorance, that very first link, can be completely seen through, completely eradicated by wisdom, by insight.
The next link doesn't form in the same way.
Exactly. Volitional formations driven by delusion don't arise. And if they don't arise, then conditioned consciousness doesn't arise in that way. And the whole chain just collapses.
Like pulling the plug.
Pretty much. The whole system runs down because the initial condition is removed.
So how do we do that? How do we pull the plug?
Well, that's where the practice comes in. The Noble Eightfold Path. It is the methodical process of dismantling this chain.
Link by link.
Link by link. Gradually weakening each condition, cultivating the opposite qualities, wisdom instead of ignorance, non-grasping instead of craving. The ultimate goal is cutting it right at the root, at ignorance.
That feels incredibly empowering, actually. It means we're not just victims of this cycle.
Not at all.
By cultivating, say, right, understanding and mindfulness, parts of that path, we could actually interrupt the chain. especially, like you said, at craving and clinging.
That's often the most accessible place to start. You can observe the feeling arise, notice the craving pop up, and then make a choice.
Pause.
Pause, recognize it, choose not to feed it, not to cling, and in that space, you prevent the next links, like becoming and birth, from gaining momentum in that moment. It's a moment of real agency.
A moment of freedom, potentially.
Yes, small moments adding up. So these 12 links, they really are the Buddha's ultimate teaching on cause and effect. Not just theory, but a practical, empowering roadmap.
A roadmap showing us, well, showing you listening, not just the source of your suffering, but the actual path to your freedom from it. It really is a call to look closely, isn't it? To understand the conditions shaping our own lives.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.
So here's something to maybe mull over as you go about your day. Considering this intricate chain we've talked about, where in your own experience do you most clearly notice those lengths of craving or clinging showing up? And just noticing them, understanding them. How might that awareness open up a path to perhaps different choices, different responses in your life? Until our next exploration, may your journey be guided by wisdom and compassion.